Shee! We know what that means. It's a blessed, wonderful, sleepless Sunday evening. Oh my God, it's finally warm and we're so happy about it. It's Pull Up a Chair, episode 78. You know we got to tap into the simulation and cover all this madness that's been unfolding in this past week. And as you can see to my right, I got my beautiful wife joining us. Thank you for joining us on Pull Up a Chair tonight, making it happen. And of course, if you don't know me by now, you should know who it is. Come on, El Tucker Tente, your ultimate sensei, your captain speaking. You should know who it is by now. Do I even need to go into the rest? Maybe I'll save it for the end. Criminal one that they call him, all that good stuff. The love high, the hate low, you get it. But thank you for joining us on this blessed, wonderful, beautiful, sleepless Sunday night. Oh my God, thank God we didn't go live yesterday because of everything that's unfolded since yesterday. But before we dive into any of that madness, tell you how we've been doing, there's two people we got to say RIP for. In the hip-hop world, we lost a big figure earlier this week. RIP to DJ C. Love you. If I had a drink right now, I'd pour one out for you. But hey, Mountain Dew will have to do. RIP DJ C. Much love and good energy to his family. And of course, may the juice live forever. RIP OJ Simpson, the world's greatest liar. Not even a month ago, he said he didn't need hospice and that his health was in perfect condition and that he was fine. Come to find out that was the opposite of that case. But RIP OJ Simpson. And now let's get right into the meat and potatoes and get right into the bread and butter. So, before we get into all that, though, just real quick, how was your week?
Very long.
Yeah, it did feel like a long week. We really didn't get to spend much time together either, so now we get to spend it together and with everybody on here. Yeah. But and then of course afterwards. But no, thank you for tuning in and getting getting into the hot seat to pull up a chair with us today. Appreciate it big time. But something I did want to talk about from earlier this week was the eclipse.
Yep, we were in the path of what is it? Totality.
I have no idea.
I was like, what is it?
I thought another Twilight sequel was coming out. Turns out it was just the eclipse. But no, that actually ended up being a lot cooler than I thought it would be.
Like, oh my gosh, it was
like at first I thought it was just going to be like that fireworks scene in We're the Millers, where he's like, "There, he's like, there, you happy?" And they set off all the fireworks. But no,
I know. I knew obviously like what was going to happen. I just I don't know, like experiencing it like firsthand is like just absolutely crazy.
I'm still not sold that it wasn't CGI. Could have been a Marvel production for all we know. That's what I kept thinking. I said, damn, they're getting their budget going crazy. So they're able to pull a trick on all of us. There for a second, I remember I thought it was the end of the world too. Like God was pulling the biggest trick and he's just up there like Usher going, watch this. And shit just blows up right when they pass each other. That would have been crazy. Oh my God. That could have been a big flex. He could have done it if he wanted to. He had all the power in the world. He could have done that. But no, that actually ended up being a lot more cooler than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it was super cool.
However, as you can tell, I'm kind of in a hurry to get to this part. I've been chomping at the bits for about a week now. Group chat's sick of me, so I had to stop throwing my takes in there, so I stockpiled them for here. God, I was chomping at the bits for this. The hip-hop nerd in me is out in full force. I'm Homer Simpson in the bush. One minute I got OVO merch on. The next minute I'm Dreamville. Next minute I'm TDE. Next minute I'm Rick Ross. I don't know. It's having a hard time keeping up. I'm in and out of that bush like a son of a bitch. But to dive right into that, though, obviously speaking on Drake versus the world, Drake against everybody and just everything that's happened with J. Cole and now Future and Metro drop back-to-back albums. But I feel like to really dial in on this, you almost got to go like person by person, step by step. So obviously we'll be covering the beef more and more as it unfolds. So we don't want to go too much in on it because I know we spoke on it last week. We spoke on it. Obviously, we're speaking on it this week. We'll probably be speaking on it next week because God knows what the hell else is going to happen. But as of right now, what we got is Future, Metro Boomin have 2 albums. We Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You. Drop back-to-back albums all within about the span of a couple weeks. Essentially, as a both shots at Drake overall and with artists that have been taking shots on those songs with Future against Drake. Obviously, the main one being Kendrick Lamar when he broke the internet and snapped it with the Like That verse. Then everybody wondered, okay, so what's going to happen here? How are we doing this thing? Who's going to respond? Is J. Cole going to say something? Does J. Cole need to say anything? Will Drake say something? Will he not? Well, the first person to answer one of those questions, J. Cole. Jermaine Cole. Well, he thought that it'd be a good idea on his album last week, which we spoke on, to put out 7-minute drill, which was essentially 2 beats that he rapped on that were clear as day, shots going at Kendrick. Open fire, right on. Everybody thought, oh, will Drake say anything? Who knows? Now Cole's in the ring. Here Cole goes. And the internet, the overall general consensus was, and I mentioned this to you too, was that the internet, I liked the diss. I thought 7-minute drill at the time was cool. I thought that it was interesting to see him go at Kendrick like that, it being like a big 3 showdown, almost like a triple threat match at that point. Triple threat. Well, when we spoke on it last week at the time, we thought J. Cole was sleeping just fine. We didn't think he was losing sleep. We didn't think that the head of Dreamville was having a hard time catching his Z's. We thought that, he'd go out on Dreamville Fest. Who knows? Maybe him and Drake would have performed first-person shooter. And then it would have been like, all right, so now they really are taking on Kendrick. But instead, what we got was the biggest plot twist of probably all time in hip-hop. J. Cole, who has for years proclaimed that his pen's the best and you can't step to him, and if you do, and you're going to be over with, you're toast, finito, I feel like Muhammad Ali, I'm the GOAT, blah, blah, blah. Always saying I'm the best. If you challenge me, I'll show you otherwise. There's no way anybody could ever be better than me, and if they do try to say that, I will just bury them into the dirt. That same guy, that same Jermaine Cole, in front of all his Coley crybabies, thought that it would be a good idea to say that he apologized to Kendrick Lamar. And not only does he apologize, but he asked his own fans that looked confused as all hell as to what was going on, if they fuck with Kendrick Lamar and if they love Kendrick Lamar. And it was hurting his spirit thinking on this shit, and he was losing sleep over it. And he just wanted to make sure to clear the air and say that he loves Kendrick Lamar and he won't say another word about him. This shit isn't about competition. It's about love. I got to stop right there, and I'm going to put the hater hat on. Obviously, we do the pod. We do Sleepless Radio. We do all those things. But the thing that if you trace it all back to that started my love for all this shit is my love for hip-hop. And part of my love for hip-hop is you talk that braggadocio shit. You claim that you're the best. And if somebody doesn't feel that way and that rubs them the wrong way and they want to get back at you on some friendly hip-hop shit. Me and Kendrick threw a friendly shot. He didn't pull up outside his house and start shooting. He didn't threaten him. He didn't say, hey, we're going to shoot the fade. No, none of that. He said, here's my bars. Fuck the big 3. It's just big me. I'm better than both of you dudes. Better than both of you. And one of the things Cole said in his apology was, I know people on the internet and I know people in the industry, they want blood. Nobody was ever asking for blood. Not to come off sounding like Maul, because I don't want to, I know me and him end up feeling the same way on this, so I don't want to sound like I'm just ripping him. But, he had a great point when he said, nobody thought, oh, man, Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, next time they see each other, oh, shit, they're going to be fighting. Move the furniture. No, nobody thought that. Because why? Sorry, Kendrick, I love you, but you look like you would clearly lose that fight. I don't think anybody thought that there was ever going to go to that. I don't think Kendrick ever thought that. When he heard that, I'm speculating here, but when he heard that, oh yeah, they want blood, who wants that? People on the internet right now want to see both of you dudes rap. They don't want to see you fight. They don't want to see any of that. And then J. Cole, I was losing sleep. For 10 plus years, you've been saying you're the best. This guy says you're not and you're backing out. But where was that? Where was that for No Name? Where was that for No Name when she was fighting for her life against Dreamville and all their fans and J. Cole's angry fans? Where was maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should clear the air on that. Fuck no. He went straight for the dagger shot. And, my whole thing with it is, just as a true, my thing, I won't go too much in on it, because again, who knows? Maybe it's all rollout. Maybe this is all him just trying to troll us and really give a crazy genius rollout for as the Fall Off album.
Ooh.
Could be. Like you said, we were talking pre-pod. Who knows? We could all be getting worked right now.
I think it's a work. I just like in my head, I guess, as like somebody who this is not like I could honestly care less.
Which is what makes your perspective a little bit more interesting because I care so much.
So for somebody who's just like my crazy take on this entire thing is that like in my mind, I personally cannot see Kendrick Lamar, Drake, J. Cole, like all just sitting there. Like maybe J. Cole because he kind of like bitched out back there, man. But and
I'm sorry. Hold on, we gotta stop right there. Drake and Cole in the Superbad scene. Somebody on Reddit, please think of the Superbad scene and put Drake and Cole's face when he goes, you know, you really bitched out back there, man. You can even put Kendrick's face on the fucking guy. On what's his name? He's having he's throwing a grad party.
Jesse.
Yeah, so you can put Kendrick's face on Jesse. You know, you really bitched out back there, man. I bitched out? You bitched out, man. You fucking Judas. What you want me to do, Cole? Dive in front of the spit?
Anyway, I can't really see like Kendrick and Drake like sitting in bed at night, being Kendrick Lamar and Drake, sitting in bed in their millions of dollars and homes and families and you know whatever, what have you.
Drake has a whole embassy. It's not even a home anymore.
And just
qualified as an embassy.
I wonder what so and so said about me. I don't really think that they care that much. Like I think it's like their producers or somebody on their teams like, hey, so and so said this about you. I think it's best if you know, maybe do this. Like you know, for blah 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 blah. I think that's what goes on behind the scenes.
Like Drake just has a party full of all these women, and he's like, hey guys, I hate to call it an early night, but I got too much on my mind right now. I got to get in the studio. You know what, everybody? I think we should just try this again next weekend. I'm not like, into
what?
it.
Like you're joking. It's a joke, right? I mean, it's good entertainment. That's why I'm like.
I do think though that Kendrick and Drake are ready to actually compete with each other. I think that's clear as day. I don't think that they're losing. I don't think that they're necessarily losing sleep, but I do think that they do have each other on their minds in some form of capacity. I'm not saying that there's somebody sitting on the edge of the bed.
Maybe in the back of their mind, like maybe occasionally, like, you know, blah, 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 whatever the fuck they're thinking about. I don't care. Whatever.
I just legitimately think that what's on their minds right now is, like, I think Drake right now, what's in his mind is, okay, Kendrick, now what? Because I just put mine out yesterday. And I think in terms of Kendrick's brain, speculating, of course, that he's over here thinking, like, he's probably thinking, like, what am I going to do about this?
I don't know. I just think it's such pointless stuff that it's like it's good music. Like, yeah, I'm sure it is great music and, you know, a great, like, just entertainment, like, for the industry, like, awesome. But, like, I don't know. I personally just, my opinion, whatever, I just have a hard time thinking that that's what they think, like, when they have, but maybe they do. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
remember, Rick Ross thinks about them all.
I mean, I do believe, like, some artists, like, really do think about what other artists are, you know, doing, putting out, what they're saying about them, like, blah, 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 blah. I really do think that there are some artists out there that care.
I firmly believe Rick Ross keeps up with everybody. I wouldn't even be shocked if he keeps up with me.
I believe that. Like that I would understand from, like, what what you've shown me and, like, you know, just the small little things that I do see. But Kendrick and Drake, like, I don't know. I just have a hard time with, like, the people that are, like, at the top, the greatest of the great, like, you really?
My whole thing with this, that I think, just pausing and thinking, just a thought that popped in my brain, though, is, like I said, I know there's takes all over the place when it comes to all this shit. Like, I'm still not quite. I'll leave Cole alone. I'll leave him alone because I'll wait and see. And plus, Maul on New Rory and Maul said about everything that I could say about it. But all jokes aside, though, J. Cole, what he did as far as showing that he does not have that competitive spirit in hip hop. The only thing I will say, I'll second what Maul said. After this, I'm not saying it was career suicide. Some people say J. Cole committed career suicide. He's done. He's finished. No, that's impossible. He's way too established. That's impossible. Most people don't even care about this shit in 2024. It's us old head, the hip hop nerds that are fucking breaking out the cage at this shit. But no, I don't ever want to hear him talk about how he's the best ever again on a track. I think that's out the window. Fair? He can talk about folding clothes and having wet dreams in high school, but no more talking about I'm the best and I'm Ali. No, you're not Ali. You're not Ali. I'm trying to think of who you would be. You CM Punk in the UFC world. That's who you are, Cole. You're not Muhammad Ali, dog. You got choked out by Mickey Gall. That's what happened to you. But yeah, no, right now, like I said, I'll leave Cole alone because I know the main event is really Kendrick versus Drake. But now let's dive into the actual diss records. Let's dive into what just happened yesterday. So we talked about 7-minute drill. We already talked about like that last week. So now to be caught up, we got to talk about the Drake drop that happened yesterday, which at first I didn't even believe was an actual real record. That's why I wanted to give it time to make sure people were like I legitimately thought it was AI. Like, that shows you how far along this AI shit has come, because I legitimately thought, that it was AI. Like, I did not think that was real at all. I was like, some clip on Twitter, people are talking about it, it's trending, but I didn't for a second actually believe when it first dropped, like, oh, that's real, let me listen to it and really try to focus on it. But then as the day went on, I realized, okay, that is legit, and now you got Drake shares his IG story confirming one of the bars on the song, and I'm like, okay, so this is really happening, okay. And then I checked it out. Now, to talk about the diss track goes with the point that I was mentioning about a minute ago that I wanted to get to. There's something that Drake has on Kendrick that I don't quite know how Kendrick is going to shake if they keep furthering this dissing each other. And that's the same shot that he threw back at Rocky. A lot of people forget this. You remember when we saw him at Jacobs Pavilion, the TDE Kendrick show?
Yeah.
That wasn't actually the tour that blew him up. The tour that blew him up was the Club Paradise tour, where it was, I could be wrong on the name of the tour, because again, I didn't get to go to it. But this tour, he had A$AP Rocky and Kendrick Lamar open up for him. One of Kendrick's first biggest features was on Take Care. A lot of people forget about it. It was the Buried Alive interlude, but that was Kendrick Lamar rapping. A lot of people forget that. Now, I was waiting for it. I was thinking of it in my head because, again, remember, I'm an artist too. I think just like these dudes. My first thought was, okay, if I'm Drake, how would I diss Kendrick? How would I respond? That was my first thought. I gave you a big moment. I gave you that feature on Poetic Justice. I gave you these things. I didn't have to do that. And same with Rocky. Like, he was like, oh, you're just jealous I'm hitting Rihanna. Drake, I did these things first. I've done these before you. I put you guys on. And I think Kendrick's really going to run into that problem. By the way, that A$AP Rocky diss on the new We Still Don't Trust You, that was weak as fuck. I love you, Rocky, but that was weak as fuck. Totally uncalled for, too. But, and talk about, oh, yeah, your newest shit done came and went. You haven't had new shit in 6 years, Rocky. Stop it. But, where was I? Before my train derails, I was saying about Drake. Oh, like what he has on these guys. Like, I almost feel like it would have been easier for the original Cole to go at Drake, because he didn't have those things. They kind of came up at like the same time. Where, yes, Kendrick was coming up with him, but he didn't blow until late. Kendrick and Cole were already kind of off and running. Yes, people in the hip-hop world were well aware of this Kendrick Lamar guy bubbling up because he got the Drake, or not Drake, he got the Dr. Dre and Game and Snoop Dogg cosign.
It's like, I didn't follow it like that deep. So it's like, I already thought Kendrick was like well-established, like awesome, like great, like is, woo, like already ready to go.
Him putting Kendrick on Take Care was like him basically saying like, hey, I could go get somebody else to do this. I definitely could. But hey, I really appreciate what this young guy's doing. Hey, let me pull him up.
I don't know.
Let me see if I can pull him up real quick.
I didn't really obviously until
Same
I met
thing with
you.
Rocky, fucking problems.
Until I met you, I didn't I don't know, I didn't ever follow it that deep ever. Like, knowing who's new, who's not, it's always like, oh, like that's person I've never heard. Like, I always thought that that's just, I don't know. I was just so like blind, oblivious to like the industry, I guess, until you've,
well then, and then you got to trace it back to, okay, where did this Kendrick and Drake thing start from? Well, I believe it started somewhere around the time span of Nothing Was the Same. And then, like, I think back to King Kunta, To Pimp a Butterfly. It was like right after all the ghostwriting shit came out about Drake, because that's where he says that thing, but a rapper with a ghostwriter. Man, what the fuck happened? Most of y'all sharing bars like you got the bottom bunk in a 2-man cell. Which I know you always go back to Drake with the writers, and I know he'll never get away from that. He'll never shake that. But then it was like Drake would always kind of, they kept throwing snubs back and forth, but now they're actually, going full on at it. They're both in the boxing ring. With that diss track, though, yesterday being the response to Like That, I do believe now we definitely need a Kendrick response. We need a Kendrick response, not necessarily immediately, but I would say within about a week we need a Kendrick response. If Rick Ross is going to respond in 2 hours, we definitely need a fucking Kendrick response. However, I think Drake did really well with the drop and Give Me 50. Like, I'll probably end up listening to it more. Right now, I'm Team OVO as far as who I got the chips on to kind of maybe come out a winner in this thing. But I don't think in 2024 there's a clear winner and a clear loser. I think MGK and Eminem proved that. Like, there's not really you're both still selling records. You're both still selling out shows. Is there really a loser there? No. But, Drake's never one to back away. Anybody can say whatever they want about Drake. But whenever it comes time for smoke, 95% of the time, he don't dodge it. He goes right at it. And I do admire him. I do admire that for him because I know that the internet always clowns him and acts like he's just the most softest, biggest bitch in the whole rap industry, which I don't believe that. And I really appreciate him picking up the sword and putting the gloves on and going straight at him. Overall, though, I don't think that is his back-to-back in this war. I didn't get back-to-back vibes. I think it was a little bit better than Charged Up was. I think it was almost better than the Duppy freestyle, but it didn't have that back-to-back feel. Drake's so smart that what Drake was trying to do in this situation was, let me throw a couple jabs and see if I can trigger him and see what he does. What else? Does he have something in the vault that he's going to drop? Let's see what it is. And I think if Kendrick doesn't drop nothing within like a week, that's where I think Drake goes to the back-to-back method. Hey, I dropped. You asked me to respond. I responded. And now you're not saying anything. So now, since I feel like I got you on the ropes, reeling, I'm going to see if I can kill shot you. And, of course, in the diss, too, he had to address everybody else. He had to address Rocky. He had to address Future. The way he addressed Metro with the one line was hilarious. He said, shut up and go make some drums. That's hilarious. Shut up and go make some drums. That, I just know that every time Metro booming now, he's like, all right, time to work on the drums. He'll have that thought. I think that's actually who got stung the most in all that. Future's too high. He probably doesn't even know what's going on. He probably doesn't even realize that everybody's dissing Drake on his album. He's so high. I thought about that. People are like, man, I didn't know Future hated Drake this much. I don't know if he does. I don't even know if he's aware of what's going on his album. He's going to walk out on his next show and people are going to be chanting, fuck Drake. He'll be like, what? I missed some guys. Yo, Metro, what's the other people been saying on that album? No, clear as day, though. Future obviously doesn't like Drake, which we covered that last week, so I won't dive back into that one. But, no, it's the Wild West out here right now, though. But I do think that Kendrick needs to respond within about a week. That's what I'd say, at least. And I think if he doesn't, Drake might go for the kill shot. But now where the curveball comes in all of this, which is where now it gets a little bit funny, is Rick Ross is using all of this as just fuel to his fire. Nobody's having more fun right now with all of this than Rick Ross. That's the bitch of it. He don't care what you say to him. He's just happy that you're dissing him. He don't give a fuck. Hell yeah, he probably don't even hear it. He's like, bet. Now I'm going to get you again. Like, fire up the beat. So Rick Ross See, here's the only thing that I think Drake does not want smoke with Rick Ross for. You don't want to get into a roast off with Rick Ross. You're never going to win. Because you're never going to get him pissed off. And he's just going to keep roasting you in the funniest of ways. So 2 hours after the Drop and Give Me 50 comes out, Rick Ross drops Champagne Moments, which the main takeaways from Champagne Moments, which I actually thought Champagne Moments, I love you, Drake. I got my Team OVO shirt on. But that shit was kind of hard. I got to admit, I kind of thought that shit was dope. I thought Rick Ross, the fact that Rick Ross said, hey, I'm not going to go to the internet first. I'm not going to do any of that yet, keyword yet. Let me get in the booth because internet's his fucking gold mine. So he said, before I do that, let me actually drop the record. I love how fast it was, how quick he responded, because that's kind of unheard of these days anymore. He said, fuck that. I'm in the booth now. Let's go. And then uploaded that shit. Smoked the beat. Funny as hell. Let's see. What are the takeaways here? Drake got a BBL, which I didn't think that was a thing, but it's Rick Ross. It's got to be the truth, I think. He said that Drake has a big nose. He sticks it where it doesn't belong. He said that he unfollowed him on IG because he sent a cease and desist to French Montana so he wouldn't use a verse on an album that had Rick Ross on the song too. So that's probably where this all started brewing. And that he's white. Yes, Rick Ross did. Yeah, he did keep calling him white, which I thought was interesting. Which is because of him wanting to get his nose changed, which is why I called him Big Nose. Oh. So that's where all that came from. But I thought that record was dope though. It's sad to see this one, and I actually hope that Rick Ross and Drake can patch it up because when this is all said and done, just because of how much immaculate and amazing classic work that they have together, I feel like it would be a shame to throw this all away. But knowing how sensitive Drake can be, I feel like he's never really going to forgive Rick Ross, and I don't really see them ever burying this hatchet now, especially after the video today where he's like, oh, man. Yeah, he's holding that bottle of Bel Air the whole time or whatever that is. He said, you went crying to your mama. you went crying to your mama, Big Nose. He goes, come on, Drake. We know that six-pack ain't there anymore. You got a BBL now. Stop it, white boy. That shit fucking... And the whole time, what kills me is he's just holding his phone, walking around the pool. I love Rick Ross. He goes, hold on, let me grab this bottle, put this robe on, and honey, I'm going outside. I'm going to walk around the pool for a minute and talk shit on Drake.
Well, she's probably used to it by now.
Like, what are you doing out there? Come on.
Walk around the pool.
Hating on Drake.
No reason.
It's so fucking funny. But I think it's going to be interesting, though, to see. I don't think Drake's going to respond to Ross. I just think he wants to kind of end that immediately because you're just going to enter a never-ending war. Yeah. You respond to Ross, he's got 3 already ready. Like, yeah. Right? That's why I think when he dropped it within 2 hours, I'm curious to know if maybe he already had that recorded and that was just like he heard it and he goes, hey, quick, upload that shit.
Probably.
Like, did he mention me? Yes. Upload.
You got one locked and loose.
Probably has 5 more in the chamber.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, no. So as far as where's the beef for this week, I think we just about I think we covered most of it for this week, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, now we can get into new music reviews, which also though kind of ties into what we were just talking about as well. Because it does obviously involve the Future and Metro album, but now I can actually talk about the album because I have heard it now a couple times front to back to front. But so we were just talking about the big 3, correct? The infamous 3 that have the world in the palm of their hands. However, what if it's not 3? By the way, something I did want to just mention real quick. If anybody thinks that there's still a big 3, stop it. No longer. It's actually just 2. It's Godzilla and Kong, Drake and Kendrick, if you're going by that theory. But there's somebody else that doesn't believe in Godzilla, Kong. There's somebody else that doesn't believe in the big 3 even. You know who that individual is? Future. He believes what Charlemagne the God put out into the world. Because Charlemagne the God was the first person that, made this statement. Future believes that there's a Fantastic Four. Now, this kind of goes into your whole rollout thing, though. So Future believes there's a Fantastic Four. Okay. He believes that his name should be right up there next to those three, then. How do you feel about that from what you know about where his, I guess, status is in the realm of hip-hop? Would you see where he's coming from, or do you think he's tripping on that?
I guess I can kind of see it, yeah. I guess, yeah.
I'm not mad at it, but the only thing is, I don't know if he could sell tickets like those three.
That's where it's like...
He can sell albums. He gets nominated for Grammys. He wins Grammys. Does very well. But if it just said Future coming to arenas worldwide, where 15 to 20,000 people, each city, state, whatever.
No, because like you're buying like, you don't have to dish out the money for it. Like you gotta dish out money for them concerts. Like, what's a couple bucks to buy an album, stream a song? Nothing. Like.
And part of what Drake said, and again, this goes back to the point that I made earlier about Rocky and Kendrick. Same situation. I gave you your biggest, highest grossing tour that you'll probably ever have when he toured with him with What a Time to Be Alive.
Yeah, it's like I feel like you need like an incentive almost.
What Drake say, that's the highest your ticket price ever was. Makes a great point with it to where that's another, hey, I gave you that. You got that because of me. Granted, I'm sure you boosted sales, but whose name was the top of the bill? Mine was. But to talk about the album, which again, he makes that statement on, I believe it's the intro to the second half of the album. Let me pull it up. Yeah, as far as it being Fantastic Four, though, I mean, I could see where he was coming from. I mean, I think he said that before the apology. Probably wishes he could walk that one back. But the idea of the Fantastic Four, though, well, I wanted to also dive a little bit more on that is that part where he put that on there. Actually, and glad that I just mentioned his ticket sales. If you do subscribe to the theory that this is all one big work and this is all WWE behind the scenes and these guys are all laughing on FaceTime with each other going, man, we got these people going crazy. That would be fucking hilarious. But goes back to that though. I mean, that wouldn't be a necessarily bad move if they could pull it off. Because think about it. Imagine the big, like, the way I was thinking on it is if this all is one big work, which I don't necessarily believe that, but if it is, that, okay, you just had Drake and Cole finally meet up and tour, right? Kendrick had the highest grossing tour last year of all time. Drake and Cole said, hold my beer. Went on tour. They got it now. Mm-hmm. Kendrick opens fire. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. J. Cole swings a couple of times and then runs out of the ring and runs for his life. Drake then gets in the ring. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Boom. Hits back. Oh my God, all these people are dissing. Oh my God, record sales are actually going through the roof though for all these people. Oh my God, this is actually getting profitable. This is crazy. Oh, the disses have died down. Oh, Kendrick, now they're showing love to each other at the show. They're bringing each other up. Oh my God, what a moment. Kendrick brings Cole up on stage. Oh my God, Kendrick popped out at Dreamfest. Oh my God, Drake just walked out too. Holy shit, the big three are on stage. Boom, boom, boom. And then next thing you know, hey, not a full tour. Hear me out. But what about a mini run? Kendrick, Cole, Drake. Oh my God, they each do 30-minute sets. Then they do a 30-minute set of all of them on stage, doing the records that they have with each other. Oh my God, we never thought we'd hear these again. Oh, wait a minute. Metro Boomin's the DJ on the tour. Now Future's cool. It's the Fantastic Four. The DJ's Metro Boomin. We got Future, Drake, Cole, Kendrick. Oh my God. Highest ticket price of all time. We've never seen this. They're selling out soccer stadiums. They're selling out Wembley. How do you sell out Wembley in hip hop? if your name's not Eminem with that intense following? How do you do it? Drake can't do that. Cole can't do that. Kendrick can't do that. Future can't do that. But if you put all four of them together, they can. Hey, I put the tinfoil on for a minute. Like I said, I got a bunch of different takes on this shit, and I'm sure you'll be hearing more and more as the weeks are to come as well, with everything going on. But no, I can put the tinfoil hat on and subscribe to your it being a work theory. Because then it's profitable. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Profitable. If you can make everybody wins and profitable happen in the music industry, oh my God. Oh my God. You struck gold. You hit gold. And they're just going to keep hammering down like a fucking Bruce Lee game of whack-a-mole until they run out of it. And that would go with that theory. But again, I don't know if I'm saying put a ton of stock into that. I think we just got to simply see how it unfolds. So now to actually review the album here. Some of my favorites. Start with that. I do like this. Actually, start with this. I like We Still Don't Trust You more than We Don't Trust You. I actually like part 2 more than I like part 1. I like the opening track with Weeknd, even though he tried to diss Baka Not Nice for shooting a TikTok, even though Weeknd does TikToks. So I was kind of, I don't know, that felt like the pot calling the kettle. I like This Sunday a lot, which Future did another little shot at Drake on there where he did Feel No Ways. Made it look like he was the original reference track for that song and Drake used it. You got J. Cole on Red Leather, which caught everybody off guard, but I don't know if that verse was recorded from months ago. I don't know if that verse was just recorded, but overall, though, it wasn't. I mean, I like the verse, but some of what he was saying on there was like he was just doubling back on shit that he's been saying for years. So again, I don't know if that's all part of the rollout too. Who knows? But I really also like the last 7 a lot. So like I love that. That was the intro. Crazy Clientele I thought was live programming, ladies and gentlemen. But I loved Crazy Clientele, and Streets Made Me a King I thought was probably the best one on the album. But overall, though, no, I did think this one was the overall better version. Do I highly recommend it? I do not. It is long. It is an hour and 12 minutes, but I think definitely if you're involved and sucked into this beef like I am, I'm sure you've either probably already heard it or plan on it. But see what else we got here. I think that's literally it for albums. We double check just to make sure. But yeah, I mean, overall, though, that We Still Don't Trust You. Like I said, I thought it was good. Definitely got more replay value to that one overall than I thought the first one did. But this one's not as, like, doesn't have as much rapping on it until the last 7. Like, this one felt more like Hendrix style Future with, like, sprinkles in and out of him doing the Pluto shit. But album-wise, though, I think everybody tried to just kind of stay out of the way. Oh, no, Drum dropped a new album, and I haven't got to check that out yet. So let me add that. Yeah, I haven't got to check out Drum and B yet, but I love Big Baby Drum. You remember Drum, right? He did the Broccoli.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lil Yachty. Man, that feels like forever ago, don't it?
Yeah, how long ago was that?
2016.
Oh, yeah, I mean, 8 years ago.
Good Lord. Damn. But Blue Oyster Cult, oh God, Railroad Tracks. I didn't even know they were still together. How old is that band? They did that song Don't Fear the Reaper. That was from like the 70s. My dad was listening to that in high school. Shit. But overall, though, I do believe that is it on the albums for the week. Actually, I take that back. Talib Kweli and Madlib dropped an album. Liberation 2. Haven't got to hear all of it yet. Definitely plan on finishing it, though. However, though, track 10, The Right to Love Us, came with a very big surprise that wasn't even promoted until it came out. And oh my God, I was so shocked and I was so happy to hear the verse because it's incredible. The Right to Love Us, Talib Kweli and Madlib featuring Mac Miller. Wow. And that feature, how many times do you think I've heard this song so far?
Well, I heard it like twice playing the other day. So.
Sounds about right. So, but no, yeah, so I definitely wanted to mention that album. I knew that wasn't on the Hot New Music page, even though it should be. But shout out Talib Kweli and shout out Madlib, and I'm so glad that verse was cleared to put on that album, because I know I don't know if we'll ever get the Mac Lib album that he made with Madlib, but hey, baby steps one at a time. I'm just glad, though, to get to hear him and Talib going over some Madlib. But now we can talk about some singles. Definitely got a lot of singles this week. So let's kick it off with this single. Kodak Black drops Stressed Out. I enjoyed it, but I definitely don't think it's one of Kodak's best. But I did enjoy it. I always like hearing some new Yak. Party Next Door dropped the newest single off of P4. Interesting cover art that had the world kind of going like, that's interesting. But he dropped Lose My Mind. And overall, I thought that record was really good too. Not one that I would highly recommend, though. I think that Party Next Door, I think he can do a little bit better than that. But from every single that he's dropped coming out for P4, so far, I do believe so good, and I am excited to see where it goes. Her Old Friends is actually my favorite of the singles that he's dropped so far. That one I do highly recommend. However, though, this one's pretty interesting. Maybe you've heard more about this person than I have. So, a couple weeks ago on the Beyonce album, because I'm not too big on TikTok, I only go on it here and there, but it was brought to my attention that there's this bubbling artist in the country music world, and his name is Shaboozey. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but to my knowledge, how you pronounce it is it's Shaboozey. So Shaboozey was featured on the Beyonce album, Cowboy Carter. I do believe not just once. I do believe it was like twice, maybe even a third time. Well, he has a new single now called a bar song, Tipsy. And I think it's super catchy. I dig it a lot. I don't know what you thought of it.
I mean, it was good for like a pop country song. It's not a country, like straight country song. No, it's a pop country song, and or some sort of like sub country. Yeah, but I thought it was good. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's catchy. I'd probably listen to it on my own.
Yeah, that I actually ended up really liking that by surprise, and I literally just stumbled across it. I was just going through what I do sometimes on Apple Music, just click on something and see what happens. And
if
I like
you know
that.
me, I don't listen to new music, so if I'm gonna add that, that I actually like it, and like I will.
You're like actually digging the song. The other couple singles that dropped, which since we're talking about country artists, I feel like we might as well talk about the newest single on the Garfield soundtrack.
The Garfield soundtrack.
Which I don't think anybody expected this. The song's called Let It Roll. That's what the record's called. And the two artists on it are Keith Urban and Snoop Dogg. I'd love to see what that studio session was like. You think Keith would smoke with him, you think?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know Keith got down like that.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but he takes me as the person. Like, I take him as that person. Like, I wouldn't put it, if it came out like they did, like, I would be like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, I wouldn't be shocked. I feel like he for sure gets down that way.
He's like, days go by.
Yeah.
I can feel him flying like a hand out the window in the wind. That'd be pretty funny. But, no, that I actually kind of like that song, even though that I thought it's hilarious. I actually, by the end of it, ended up being like, hey, am I letting this like repeat right now? Like, am I not really minding this?
It was cute.
I was like, I actually kind of dig that song. Yeah. And I feel like nobody thought when Garfield was like, hey, we're going to be putting out our first single. Somebody was like, ooh, can't wait to see if maybe they got Keith Urban and Snoop Dogg on it. Right. Like, I feel like that was the last thought that anybody was thinking.
They're probably like, another Justin Timberlake song.
That's funny as shit. JT, we need another soundtrack.
We got another kids.
Liggity spliggity. Like, I'm busy. Hit Phil Collins. He's like, I'm whole. I'm ready. Let me fire up the piano, baby.
We ain't ready for Phil Collins. Come
on. He's like, all right, I can feel it coming in the air tonight, baby. But another new single, though, a couple singles that I really dig. Now, these two, save the best for last, that I do put on the highly recommendation for this blessed and wonderful, beautiful week of April that will definitely be on my Securing Bags and Bumping Gems playlist at the end of the month. From another soundtrack. This is from the soundtrack of an indie movie called Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Jordan Ward has the honor of actually getting a song on it, and it's called Player 2. Highly recommend checking that out. I've been listening to Jordan Ward for almost a year now. one of my favorite up-and-coming artists. I'm really excited to see what this kid does. I'm actually excited to check out that movie. And I thought it was just fucking awesome that Jordan Ward was the first single, just his name on it too, to help promote the indie movie. I think that's a smart move on his part, smart opportunity to seize. And I do believe that was smart for that movie to do that, because people that fuck with Jordan Ward are like now guaranteed to watch this movie because of just the respect that we have for giving him that moment. For my next highly recommendation of the week, the highest honor you could possibly have, even bigger than a Grammy, is my approval, my stamp. So with that being said, my favorite highest recommendation of the week comes from the TDE camp, one of the top dogs himself, the great up-and-comer, the young gun, Ray Vaughn, who dropped Blasphemy. And when I heard the hook for the first time in a while, I actually legitimately went, damn, I wish I came up with that. So not only is hating on him blasphemy, but if you do, he's got his goons that'll blasphemy. As a lyricist and as a wordplay guy, I think I popped a nut on that one. Pause. But when I heard that, I legitimately did. I went, fuck, I wish I thought of that. I was like, damn, that's genius. And I was like, it's been right there this whole time. And I never thought of it. Every time I've been like, oh yeah, that's blasphemy. I never thought, how easy would it be to flip that? Like, how easy could that possibly be? And oh my God. So instantly I was like, that's a great hook. Super catchy. He was kicking that beat's ass for 3.5 minutes. I highly recommend checking out Blasphemy. So now to close out music reviews, and we can separate ourselves now from all that hip-hop madness that unfolded. We can separate ourselves from all the beef. We can separate ourselves from all the craziness that's been unfolding. Because there's somebody that's trying to bring back the old rock star lifestyle. Before we get off music, there's somebody that's trying to bring back the old rock star lifestyle. And that gentleman's name is Morgan fucking Wallen. He ain't just Morgan Wallen anymore. When he threw that chair from the sixth floor, he became Morgan fucking Wallen. I think he's WFG now. He walks around different. What I respect about Morgan Wallen is you don't hear about him getting in any beefs. You don't hear about him. Well, I mean, there was that one incident where he let a word maybe spill.
And there was the time where he canceled, I think, 1 or 2 shows because he was
too hammered ahead of time. See, you know what? At first, I used to think like, oh, Morgan Wallen just is like, he's a fool or something like that. I think he's trying to bring back the rock star.
I love Morgan Wallen. Nothing will ever.
I think he's trying to legitimately bring back the rock star, and people are just not getting it. Like, he's trying to show us that this is a work, and he's just not getting it.
No, like, I think he...
Right, he's literally like, I'm going to get up.
Gets drunk and does crazy
I'm going to get shit-faced hammered, and whatever happens today, fuck
he goes on, like, bingers, and, like, at the end of the bingers is when the crazy shit happens, because it's like, I mean, you drink for a couple days straight, no, nothing else. I mean, you will do some crazy fucking shit. Like, what? Like, he's fucking piss-ass drunk? No, it makes nothing that he does okay. But, like...
Well, the way he...
Really?
Like, so after this one, though, because you got to remember...
Did the chair hit somebody, or no?
No, it landed near cops. See? Cops. That dude's cool as fuck. Yeah. He said, hey, I'm one of the biggest artists in the world. I'm going to take this chair, fuck it, throw it over this shit.
I did hear through the grapevine, though, that he may be, like, getting some charges for that.
Absolutely. That's why there's people on the internet that said he isn't even Morgan Wallen anymore. That's Morgan Osborne. We know an Osborne when we see it. That's some Ozzy shit. Get shit-faced out in public, knock the table over, make a fool of yourself, and that's some Scarface shit. This is Morgan Montana right here, baby. Say hello to my little friend, and he just pulls out a bottle of Wild Turkey and starts chugging it.
We all act like we've never done crazy shit fucked up, like, at all. Like,
I tell you, and the way that, like, what I was about to say was, so, like, obviously when he said the N-word, I do believe that warranted the apology, and I think that how he worded that and what he said was legitimate. Hey, I was shit-faced drunk. It came out. That's my bad. That's the truth. That's all I can tell you. And you can take with that what you will. If you want to hate him, you can hate him. If you don't want to hate him, you don't have to hate him. But then you get, okay, he was drunk for the 2 shows, and then he came out and was like, which hilarious, so fucked up. Your fans are all waiting out there, and you're at the bar right next to it. But he apologized for that one. So I think when people saw, me included, him throw the chair and the whole story breaks, we go, oh, brother, how's he going to apologize for this one? And the fact that now he's just at the point where he's like, you know what? Fuck it. And that TMZ guy, as he's walking out of the thing, you can tell he looks mad hungover. I know a hangover when I see one too. Jesus Christ. And they're asking Morgan, so, like, you know, you want to talk about, like, you know, what happened at that, you know, at that spot last night? Like, you know, can we have a word? He's like, I think it happened. Got hammered. I was loaded. I was drunk. I've been up, you know, and, you know, I just picked up the chair. I threw it. I think that's totally cool. Own that shit.
I mean, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to not throw? I mean, the chair's already done been thrown. I mean, it's already done been happened.
I think they wanted him to like people thought he was gonna like, oh, I'm so sorry to the officers. I'm so sorry to all that. He didn't even mention the officers. He's like, I threw the fucking chair.
I'm sure if it
is what it is. What
somebody,
happens.
I'm sure if it injured somebody, this would be a different conversation. But it didn't. Like,
back to Superbad, he goes, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried at all.
Like, what? Like, y'all act like he's still not a human. Like,
that's Morgan Montana, baby. That's Morgan Montana. That ain't Morgan Wallen anymore. That's Morgan Montana. With the bottle of wild turkey. Say hello, friend. Keep all the furniture away. His friends, every time they see him, they're like, oh, shit. You think, I know I mentioned this to you a couple of days ago, but do you think as soon as he picked up that chair, that one of his buddies did the San Andreas meme? Oh, shit. Here we go again.
I mean, probably not, because it's not like every week it's like, oh, Morgan Wallen this. Oh, it's like all these
just once in a while he likes to pop out and do some fuck shit.
Like, so sporadic that it's like, is it, like, I don't know. Like, I just think it's just because it's Morgan Wallen. And it's just because it's in the light. People fucking do, I mean, what?
He's gonna throw the biggest party that Nashville's ever seen and call it Project Morgan.
Yeah.
And just be the center of attraction. Just like be up on the fucking roof with a flamethrower. Ah! But you know who else though? We can leave off of this. You know who else was drunk? Who I think was maybe drunk. In fact, I think more drunk than Morgan. In fact, I wish this guy would have thrown a couple of chairs instead of done what he did. That gentleman's name that I'm talking about is Mr. Tony Khan. Now, AEW fans, me included because I am an AEW fan, you guys are about to hate me because I'm going to have to do that thing where I call it down the middle and call it how I see it. AEW just did the worst single-handed decision that they've ever made yet in the company. And from everything that I've seen and heard, it wasn't the Young Bucks who made this decision. It wasn't Jack Perry who made this decision. It was solely the decision made by Tony Khan. And that decision was to walk this all back. We go back to when CM Punk, his infamous last night with the company at All In, where Jack Perry did the glass spot, walked to the back, and then there was, at the time we heard that there was an altercation between Jack Perry and CM Punk. CM Punk then on the Ariel Helwani interview goes into a little bit of detail about what happened. He says, hey, Perry walked to the back, da-da-da. I walk up to him. We exchange a couple of words. He goes to push me. I kick him back. I put him in a choke him out for a second. Samoa Joe comes over, breaks it up. I lean over at Tony Khan. I tell him, fuck this. This company's a joke. I'm out of here. See ya. And that's what Punk says. Then last week, the Young Bucks announced, hey, on Wednesday, we will be airing the footage that was the altercation between CM Punk and Jack Perry, which again was not the Bucks' decision. They made it very known that that was Tony Khan's call. So Wednesday night comes, and people are thinking, is this a work? Meaning, like, are they just going to air something completely different? Are they actually going to air the footage? Is this footage going to make CM Punk look like a liar? Because what if that happened? That crossed my mind at one point. What if CM Punk was getting his ass kicked? Mm-hmm. This whole thing was a lie.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, maybe this will hurt Punk's credibility. So I'm glued to the screen, phone screen, because that's where I had to watch it. And Young Bucks, which I thought was smart at first is crucial here. At first, I thought this was smart because they made it sound like, hey, this happened right before our match. We weren't focused. We were distracted because we're executive vice presidents of the company. So we went out to the ring. Our heads weren't in the match completely. FTR got the best of us because we weren't focused because of what CM Punk did and what Jack Perry did. We weren't focused. That's why we lost that match. But now coming next Sunday, we're going to win at the pay-per-view because we're not focused on this garbage anymore. That kind of thing. So, the footage airs. CM Punk said exactly what happened in that situation. I mean, literally everything he said in the interview was what transpires on the footage. From the shove to the kick to to Joe breaking it up, to watching Punk lean over and yell for 2 seconds at Tony Khan, which, by the way, don't forget this part. Remember when Tony Khan said on TV before Punk debuted in WWE, tried to hurt his chances of signing? He goes, I've never felt so scared in my life. I've never felt like I was about to lose my life at a wrestling show. Buddy, I used to have that happen to me 3 times a day. Somebody jawing at you, leaning in, yelling. This guy is a Joe. I'm screaming in your face. And you feared for your life? Punk had 2 people holding him back. And he wasn't even charging at you. He leaned in, he spat, and he yelled. So now Tony Khan just proved you're a pussy, 1. What else did he prove? I'm bitter because I want to show this footage. Which, here's my thing to anybody that could talk to Tony. What was the fucking point? What was the point? I'm still trying to figure that out, and it's almost a week later now.
Tony probably thought that that the public would agree with him, oh yeah, CM really did do that. But it's like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? It really wasn't as bad. It literally, it was what CM said, which I hate to admit, but Tony, your life was not on the line, buddy.
I mean, he didn't even have he didn't raise his arm at you. He didn't.
I think, yeah. I would think that he would probably be oh yeah, the public is for sure going to be on my side, and it backfired. It just backfired.
The only thing that I saw, because I actually wanted to go to the AEW, the ones that will always say good things about the company, the ones that will always find a positive in their negatives, which I have a hard time doing sometimes, but it is what it is. But somebody's angle I thought was interesting. They think that what he wanted to do is that he wanted to put Punk in a light that would make WWE kind of go almost hey, almost catch him in did Triple H know, did Triple H know what you looked like in that moment? How fired up you were? Look how you were quick to yell. Look how you were quick to scream at your boss. Make it look man, look at what kind of employee you guys got.
Oh, yeah, and again, it backfired.
Well, because what happened? The footage closes out. The Bucks are done talking. You have your half-empty arena yelling, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Tony Schiavone, the other thing that I thought was interesting that somebody picked off on Reddit, which I thought was brilliant, was when the finger poke of doom happened, which, for those that don't know, the finger poke of doom. Finger poke of doom is that you got, in one corner, you got Hogan, you got Sting, Vince Russo's in charge, bookings all over the place. And the idea is that we're going to have Hogan win the match by a finger poke. And that was at WCW Bash at Beach 2000, which Tony Schiavone at the end of that show was looking at the screen like this. Just disappointed. I know you can't see my eyes right now, but just utterly disappointed. When the crowd started chanting CM Punk, 24 years later, Tony Schiavone on the commentary booth had that same face. And what happened in the commercial break? JR got up and walked the fuck away. Like, I'm not even going to be a part of this. What is this? We just put over another guy that's in another company and buried our own talent. You buried your own talent and you put over the other guy all in one. That's
crazy.
Pissed off two of the most legendary announcers of all time because they got to call this bullshit. That's what a lot of people forget. Like, that's why Shafani's making that face, because he's got to make it sound like that was good programming.
It's not.
Like,
what the fuck?
And you could hear it in his voice. He didn't want to say those things he did. Like, punk. You could tell he had no passion in that at all. That was Tony in his ear saying, hey, Tony, say this. He probably went, man, fuck this. That's why JR was like, hey, Tony, you want to truck it out? Go for it. I'm too old for this fucking bullshit. I'm walking to the back, and I'll deal with the consequences when I get to the back. And now, supposedly, JR is going to be left off TV. So now look at what you did. Nice. Good job. Most legendary commentator of all time. You want him to not be interested in this shit show at all. You buried your own guy, and you put over the other guy. Good job, Tony. Way to go. In fact, you may have just buried the Young Bucks, too, because their dumbasses had to give that fucking thing. They were probably like thinking all day, fuck, man, how are we going to get this thing over? It's impossible. At some point, they legitimately probably just said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just say it. Like, whatever. What do you want us to say, Tony? Give us the script.
Yeah, right.
Like, this means that much to you? Go right ahead. But what's your take on it? You know, you've been to an AEW show with me. I still love AEW. I still got respect for it. But that was the worst move they could have done. And I do believe if there is a beginning to the end, I believe that was it.
Well, yeah, it's like you have
ticket sales we can fix, but we can't fix what that was.
Well, no, and it's like, how do you expect to now fix your ticket sales with that?
And a lot of AEW fans, they felt hurt by that. Because a lot of the diehard AEW fans, they really do believe this. Let's focus on just what we're doing. Let's stop letting the WWE remarks get to us. Like, I thought this was funny. Just pause right here for a second. Triple H on his interview with Logan Paul. When Logan Paul asked him, hey, you know, like, there has been some hot free agents that have went to other companies, mainly talking about people like Okada and Will Ospreay, bruv, who just got signed to AEW. And, you know, there's been a ton of free agents, though, you know, going all over the place. There's so many. Wrestling's in a boom period, as we've mentioned. But what I thought was really interesting was, I hope my train of thought didn't just derail. So during that interview with Logan Paul, one of the things that Triple H said was that he wants guys that want to do live events and, you know, work year round. He doesn't like it when guys have creative control, part-time schedules type shit. Like, if I need you, I need you type thing. Mm-hmm. And he pretty much said, he didn't mention any names. That's the thing. Triple H didn't mention any names. He goes, look, if you're not down for the grind and you're not down to really put the work in, that's not really something that we're even trying to have here. So if you went somewhere else to another company, I'm glad they can have you. I don't need you there. Will Ospreay on Dynamite goes, you want to talk about the grind, bruv? Well, let me tell you something, bruv. That because he's literally the Aussie Hulk Hogan at this point. But he goes, well, let me tell you something, bruv. You didn't have to grind to get where you're at. You only had to grind up on the boss's daughter, bruv. And threw that shot at him on Dynamite. Now, my only thing with that is, though, did you accidentally put on the shoe, Will? That's what I'd say if I was Triple H. All I said was, hey, if you're not willing to put in the grind and, you know, put in these dates and put in the work, I don't need you then. And Will Ospreay, I did think this was fascinating that, like, what clicked in his head to be like, oh, yeah, you're talking about me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how he
I love Ospreay, but, like, yeah, like, did the shoe fit?
Yeah,
like that kind of thing.
If
like
the shoe fit, wear it.
like, yeah, like, if I'm Triple H, did you just kind of own that? Because that obviously irked you. Buddy. Yeah, like, that obviously pissed you off. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that was kind of weird to kind of show that hand, really.
Oh, yeah.
But not to cap up WrestleMania, though. Obviously, I had to put the hater hat on for a second and talk about AEW. And you know what? I figured I was in that mood anyways. It's warmer weather now. I'll stir up Reddit. I'll stir the pot. Come and get me. Come and get me. But to recap WrestleMania, though, I'll stand with my sword on that hill. But to recap WrestleMania, though, I know last week we did celebrate our anniversary. We watched night 2 together. I watched night 1 with the boys down here. It was Saturday night for the boys. But night 1, night 2 WrestleMania. Obviously, we got to start with night 1. I thought night 1 was the weaker night with card-wise. But overall, though, I thought Rhea beating Becky. We predicted that one. I did not predict, though, that Becky was going to give her that match and then take time off, though. I didn't see that coming. Oh, wow. But she wants time off to be with the baby. You had the tag team titles match, which I did not know up until the day of, as we mentioned last week, on if the titles would split or if one team would get them both. However, though, Aussie, the A-Town Down Under, which is Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, they won the SmackDown tag team titles. Then you had Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth win the Raw tag team titles, which I thought that was great how they split that up, so we ended up calling that one. Then you had the brother versus brother match. That, I think, was actually the most underwhelming match of the week. I thought that one could have been a lot better. Jey Uso obviously got the dub, but overall, though, I did think that was kind of a weak match. Here's what I don't think anybody planned for. Just talk about that match real quick, because I know you didn't end up watching it. It was a dream match that people had of Jey versus Jimmy. But I think what they ended up finding out in the middle of the ring was, we've never done this before. We have chemistry together. How do I do the same stuff you do. Like, we have the same moves. How's this going to work? I can see. Like, there was almost different times in the match where, like, they were having these little standoffs, and you could tell they were, like, almost trying to, like, brother to brother be like, where do we go now? Like, because like literally they have the same moveset. So it'd be like you'd see one of them do something and then 2 minutes later the other one would do the same thing. Yeah, and it's that was a bad. I think Triple H probably realized rather quickly, and based on how they didn't really go for a while either, I wouldn't be shocked if Triple H went like into the ref's ear and said, "Hey, tell them I shaved 3 minutes off. This really isn't going well. Like this isn't going how we had planned." But now, though, after SmackDown, though, it looks like Jimmy's back to being a babyface. Solo Sankola and Tema Tonga jumped him. Those are a couple of names, huh? But then in night 1, before we get to the tag match, you had Sami Zayn versus Gunther, which I don't think anybody saw Sami Zayn actually winning that match.
I'm glad he did, though.
Yeah, you know what? Come to think of it, maybe Snuka or Danathan mentioned it last week. But no, I did think that made for a great moment. His wife was at ringside, who I'm convinced nobody ever told her that this is a work. Like, I don't think she ever got that memo. I think they're like, hey, just keep her in the dark because we love her reactions. Yeah. When Sammy's getting chopped and she started yelling, enough. I'm like, I don't think he told her that this is a work.
Or he did, and she's playing it real good.
I mean, she's blinding the kids' eyes and shit. I'm like, wow.
Well, I mean, he might have told her that it is, and like she's really just trying to like play that up for him. Like, oh God, not the kids' eyes.
Dad's getting smacked.
I would. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, play it up.
Really sell that shit. But I liked. What else was there in night 1? I think that was it. No. All right, well, let's just talk about the tag match. There was the Roman Reigns and The Rock, obviously not Bloodline rules. The match was to see if they could get the night 2 main event to be Bloodline rules. And well, Cody and Seth just couldn't fight off the final boss and the Tribal Chief. So night 1 didn't end on such a graceful note as a lot of people wanted it to. But what I thought would happen was Rock and Roman win the tag match. But then that leads to night 2 of WrestleMania, which I thought was the much better night. I really did. I thought night 2 was much better.
Was really good.
Yeah, I thought night 2 was much better than night 1.
But night 2 was really good. It was a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, so to start off, you had... I remember the other match that was in night 1 was Jade Cargill, Bianca, and Naomi against the Kabuki Warriors and Dakota Kai, also known as Damage Control. Which I thought that was a good way to use Jade. I wasn't quite sure if we were going to get a heel turn or not. I know I did kind of think that was going to happen, but that didn't end up happening, which hindsight, that was probably a good call. But then in night 2, kind of jump all over the place on this one because I kind of forget how, like, what match kicked off the show. Oh, no, Drew Seth. That's right. Drew versus Seth kicked it off. Now, here's where a big curveball happened, and I could tell we were going to be in for a great night. So I had Drew McIntyre winning, and then I had CM Punk ripping the cast off and having a whole moment with McIntyre. But one thing I didn't see happening was Damian Priest cashing in.
No, I was shocked. I was like,
and then when I did see Damian Priest cash in, I was like, oh, he's just gonna come out here and Drew's gonna get his wits back to him and Claymore kick him.
Why the hell did Drew like?
Oh, the slut walk on the announcer table.
I don't know. It just didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that I remember what we said.
Threw me for a loop.
That's when Triple H made the call. He goes, "Go get Damian right now."
What is he doing out there?
I'm telling the ref right now. Signal the ref, man. Tell Drew Priest is going. He's going over. That shit. Oh my god. That was a call on the fly though. It was a call mid-match. Cool beans. So I mean, the rumor has it is that was what happened. Was Drew was all supposed to happen and with no cash in. But then Triple H must have thought at some point during the day, obviously he was tossing around in his head, and he thought, you know what?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's actually go through it. Let's go through it. Let's do it. Which makes the Judgment Day look more credible. Mm-hmm. So that's good, especially after you just had Dom lose, Damian and Finn lost the tag belts, both of them. Rhea was the only one that got any sort of a W outside, out of the weekend. So I did think that was cool to kick off night 2 like that. Still make Judgment Day look strong. What else was in night 2? You had Logan versus KO versus Randy, which Logan ended up winning that, which I do agree with that. You had the Philadelphia Street Fight, which was Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament. I thought that was pretty fun. The table botch, though, was...
oh, that was funny. He, barely even, it was just...
Oh, the fact that Angelo and Montez have never been in that big of a moment of it botched. What do we do? That was so...
They just go right back down, grab another table, let's do it again.
Because at first they were trying to fix it. And Bubba Dudley leans in, and you can tell Bubba was because he's a veteran. This has happened to him 1,000 times with tables. He just looked right at them and said, just go grab another. Just fuck it. Go grab another one. For this broken-ass table, we're going to kick outside the ring. We're going to put the new one up real quick. The crowd's still into it. They're laughing. They realize what just happened. You're a big WWE guy. If you're a wrestling fan, oh, my God, that just botched. How are they going to fix it? Okay, they're going to grab another table. All right, we still get the spot. Hell yeah. But I thought that was really cool. Let's just get right into it. It's one of those moments where I'm like, let's just get to it. That's what they want to hear anyways. What happened in what some are calling the greatest WrestleMania match of all time? Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, finished the story against the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and Bloodline rules, and he had to overcome it all. Oh, my God. It turned into a Marvel movie. It turned into Avengers Endgame.
I literally jumped up off the couch.
Oh, the pops were real. The pops were real. Obviously, I called it on the pod. I was a little off in different parts. But she saw me put on the Cena shirt, and I said, all right, wait for it. And when it happened, I saw you were looking at me because I kept saying what I say last week. I got the call from Triple H. He told me everything that was going to go down. I just didn't get that last text. It ended up turning green. He must have had bad signal when he sent me it. So I didn't get it until after. And I went, fuck. It was Taker, not Stone Cold. But no, I thought that match was incredible. Storytelling on the highest level. You got Jimmy comes out. Oh, no, Jay comes out.
Oh, God.
Solo comes out.
Geez.
Cena comes out.
Oh, my God. Lights go out.
The final boss. And then right as he's whipping, oh, my God, The Rock's running rampant. The lights are out.
Dum.
And then I remember you jumped up off the couch and you go, no, he's not.
I didn't think he was actually going to, actually come out. I thought they were going to pump fake us again. You know how they did that, quite a few maybe I don't even know what or anything, but I know that they did that once. They did the gong and they shut the lights out, but he didn't actually come out. I think it was I don't know, but I do remember that happening.
What if they did the dong and then the glass shattered?
That'd be a very, like, confusing. Wait a minute. Who is it then?
Undertaker comes out dressed as Stone Cold. No, that
oh my God.
Jean shorts and all. No, but Taker, though, looked like $1 million. As always, Stone Cold, it ended up being rumored that he didn't want to show up because of the money and that he was just cozy in his own home. And that goes into the joke of, because everybody knows this about Taker. As soon as he got that call, he picked that sucker up first ring. What you need? So we're thinking about this Mania spot. Okay? Yeah, we need you to choke slam the Rock. I'm on my way.
My gear's already
Let me just hold on. Shell, not a match, right? Not a match. Just a choke slam. Just a choke slam? Yeah, you can go. All right.
She said yeah.
Hey, she said yeah. I'm getting my backpack now. I'm ready to come. You want me to grab the suit? Just my hoodie? Oh, and a bandana? Okay, yep. On way. Don't worry about it. You got it. Then they're like, yeah.
Does wardrobe still have my hoodie?
He's like, I've been home for a while now. I might need another size. And I've been chilling.
Packing on the LBs. No.
Oh, God.
He looked good.
No, yeah, he looked like $1 million. He even hit that little scurry.
Oh, his little
scurry run out of there, trying to be nonchalant in front of the crowd.
His jog in the pitch black with his knees.
But on his pod, though, you could tell that everything happened for a reason. He needed that moment more than Stone Cold did. He needed that moment more than he did.
Oh, God, are you kidding me?
Like, he said that, this was the first time, his kid got to be in the crowd with Michelle as the lights go out and you actually get to see fans respond. Mm-hmm. And he said that even more cooler than doing the spot and doing all that was that his daughter said to Michelle, obviously, Mom, that, oh, wow, Mom, I didn't know so many people love Dad so much. And he said that was that he goes, that's what you do it for. Like, he goes, when the lights went out, he goes, I didn't know people were going to be disappointed that it wasn't the glass. I didn't think, people thought, like, how's he going to look? Is he going to be in the dead man suit or is he just going to be plain clothes? And he said, at the end of the day, he said, I've retired the suit. And he told, because Triple H was like, you can have it if you want. And Taker goes, I'm so far removed from that. Let me just go in there, be Mark Calloway Undertaker.
For Undertaker's nipples to be out anymore.
Plus, after all that 30 years body of work that he put in that suit, imagine him doing that run in that.
Oh, poor guy.
And the hat falls off. Imagine, like the hat falls off. Now he's got to pick up the hat. Like, he's got to run with the heavy ass coat. Like, that'd be all bad. Plus, laying under there and probably feel like a furnace. Yeah. Laying under the ring with that whole garb on. Which, just to touch on that one, is, recapping Mania. Talking about that match. Taker showed to this day that he's still got dedication for the business. They said, do you want us to figure out a way to get you out there during the event? Or do you just want to do it old school style and before any fans are let in, get under the ring? He said, give me a monitor, give me some bottles of water, and I'm going to lay under that bitch for hours. Let's go. But what he didn't expect was, he's an older Undertaker. He's got to get his weekend, he's got to get in his afternoon naps. Well, he didn't have his afternoon nap yet. So Taker said that he doesn't know when, doesn't know how, but he dozed off under the ring for a bit and actually came to and didn't realize what part of the night they were at. So he's like, man, I'm listening to everything I can. I'm trying to listen to the crowd. Who are they chanting for? What are they chanting? Trying to hear anything I can. And he goes, it's not until a couple minutes later that Samantha Irvin announces who's winning who won the match. And it was the Street Profits and Bobby versus the Final Testament. And it had Taker under there like, okay, let me make sure don't want to fall asleep, because that would have been hilarious. You imagine you hear that
you
dong.
Wake up to like the celebration of Cody you wake up to the dong and you're supposed to like already be like ready to go.
Knowing Taker and how committed he is to WWE, he would probably just stick his hand through the ring and just be like, ah. Let me give you guys how would The Rock sell that though? Dumb. And like you just see like Cody on the ground. He's not there. He's not behind you. Rock has to go under the ring, wake him up. Taker's getting crust out his eyes. He's like, fuck, my bad. Yeah, he's here. Boom, chokeslam him. No, but I am on the side of that was one of the best WrestleMania main events of I mean, Cody finished the story.
He did.
The son of a plumber. Dusty Rhodes. I do such a bad Dusty Rhodes. I wish I could do a good Dusty Rhodes impressions. Like, everybody can but me. I haven't figured them out yet. But no, I do think originally I had the Tribal Chief saying fuck that story and ending it. But I also had that dream finish of whoever takes out The Rock is going to help Cody. But we also can't forget about what Seth Rollins' whole part in this whole thing was. Maybe the most crucial interference of them all, no? Think about it. When he was in the ring, some part of the storytelling that we didn't even think at first to show you how long-term they're going out. When the Shield first broke up and Seth turned on Roman, he hit him in the back with the steel chair. Now, all these years later, you had Seth in his Shield costume, Cody, obviously, leaning on the ropes. They both had their backs. They both had their backs out. Backs sticking out, I should say. And Roman has the chair. Now, Roman had the opportunity to either hit Cody or the opportunity to hit Seth. Thus, show you how awesome and articulative they was of this storytelling. I thought it was brilliant how they showed Seth's back. So, obviously, what he ended up doing in the match was he hit Seth, bam, got him, and then, obviously, Cody ended up winning. The part of that story is that this whole time, yes, Roman has a problem with Cody Rhodes. He does not like him. But he has more of Seth on his mind than Cody. He has more hatred and revenge built up for Seth. And when he saw Seth in that Shield costume, that's when he knew, ooh, this is how I can retaliate. This is how I can get back at him. And he'd rather do that than even... He puts Seth basically before he even puts the own title reign. He had more harbored hatred for Seth than love of being the champion. And I think that was great to kind of include in the story there, that whole story arc of it. Again, I think that's just genius. I think it's brilliant. I think it's A1. But is there anything you wanted to mention on how you feel WrestleMania went? Anything you got about how you feel WWE is moving forward? Where do you think they're going to go?
Like those questions, like, I don't know.
Well, that's the beauty of being a wrestling fan. You speculate on, okay, now what's next?
I don't know, because I don't know.
You don't like fantasy booking?
No.
That's why you're not into GM mode as much as me. I'm always thinking about where they're going to go next.
No, I don't know. I don't follow.
All right, well, how long do you think he'll hold it?
At least a year, I hope. God, don't do all that for him to hold it for fucking a week.
And I remember when we were watching Mania 2 and kind of talking about, like, where this will go now, or when we were watching Raw 2, I think he'll hold it for at least a year. Let him hold it for at least a year. Maybe drop it at Mania next year. I'm not too sure. But I do believe hold it for a year. I do believe that Gunther, now that he lost the IC title, I believe that he's going to try to pursue the World Heavyweight. I think that's clear as day. I don't think they want to keep him in the Intercontinental title scene. I think they want to put Gunther in a World Heavyweight title, at least a push. Tough. Obviously, CM Punk Drew, I don't think that'll be a title feud now. Especially given that you got Damian Priest versus Jey Uso now. They do have 2 qualifiers for Cody coming up for Backlash. They had 2 qualifying matches. So it's going to be LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Winner faces Cody at Backlash in France. So I think that'll be interesting. It really is hard to see, though, because they're now coining this the Renaissance era. But like you said, I think it's just exciting to kind of just see where Triple H is going to take it. Obviously, he's making a lot of great moves. Really love what they're doing right now.
Like, what he was just doing, leading all the way up to WrestleMania, was basically cleaning up everything that Vince has done. He's got to clean up a lot of these things that he fucked up with pay-per-views in the past and shit when he was still able to have some sort of creative input. Now that he's completely removed, Triple H now was able to clean up a lot of this mess, get a lot of these things that he wants to be, like, implemented, and start running with it now. So I think it's hard to kind of say where he's going to go, because I feel like Triple H is now going to keep us on our toes. Like,
yeah. I think expect a lot of twists, expect a lot of turns, expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
I know he said that in the media scrum. Expect the unexpected. And I think that's got all of us wrestling fans like, okay, give me the bucket of popcorn. Let me put my feet up so we can be along for the ride. So before we get ready to close out, though, there was something else I wanted us to kind of speculate on, if you don't mind. So in the TV movie world, Scary Movie is being revived. It looks like the Wayans brothers, you said they do have ties to it, or they don't?
Oh, I don't know. It was just a poster that I saw. It had those two faces. I don't know if that's from this movie or previous movie. I don't know. That's why I don't know. I have no idea. But I did see on the comment section on that poster is people were like, they would be more for it if they had some sort of intake with it.
Yeah, because Scary Movie, no discussing film broke it. They do have now, the revival of Scary Movie. It looks like it's going to be Scary Movie 6 is in the books. Obviously, those are the biggest, best, most notorious spoof movies of all time. I mean, that's what literally made the genre credible. I mean, I remember watching Scary Movie 3 as a kid, and that to this day is probably in my top 25 funniest movies. I used to love what they lampooned. Like, you would almost... What I loved about it at the time was, like, you would watch a movie like The Ring, per se, and one of your first thoughts would be, oh, man, I can't wait to see what they're going to do in Scary Movie with this. And then what do you get? Hey, Cindy, the TV's leaking. Like, just like iconic moments like that. And then she's boxing the shit out of the thing. Like, it's just absolutely hilarious the way they made fun of 8 Mile. Mm-hmm. I mean, lose the hood. I'm good in the hood. No, lose the hood. Like, all those iconic moments that you get, like Charlie Sheen with the hot dogs. He's like, so let me get this straight. Like this. And the cop's like, just go talk to your wife. But no, actually seeing that these are being revived actually kind of made me think, though, do you think this is like the revival of spoof movies? Like, is it going to get out of hand like it did before? Because I think that's what killed the genre before.
I hope not.
Was like, we love Scary Movie 1. We love Scary Movie 2, 3, 4, 5. But then what we didn't love was, oh, epic movie. Oh, disaster movie. What was another one?
Those haunted house, whatever, making fun of the paranormal activities.
That was actually a Wayans production, though.
I know, I didn't like those.
And people were shocked by that, though. People were like, we'd rather you do Scary Movie. Like,
yeah, I did not like those. I did not like those.
I can't even really remember them. And I know I saw the first one, I believe, in theaters.
But... And that's how, like, I don't remember them either. And I watched them. But, like, I don't like them. Like,
yeah.
But I remember, like, a lot of, like, the scary
movies. What's funny? I think that's when they were like, let's get away from the Scary Movie and try something else.
Yeah, I know.
And then I think they tried it, twice?
Yeah, they had 2. Yeah, they did.
Damn. Yeah, so Paramount will probably get them involved then to really dive in on Scary Movie 6. But I hope it doesn't turn into the revival of that.
I don't think so. I think that, I mean, minus Scary Movie, all those other movies have been beaten dead. Like, I hope that they don't, like, try to be like, oh, cool, so now let's do our own spoof movie, like, coming in 2024, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like remember Drake Bell was what was he, a maggot or a hornet or something like that? I'm trying to think. He was in the superhero movie. It was literally like a spoof on superheroes. Remember Drake Bell at the beginning? He's like, stop the bus. And he gets like cracked by the sign.
Yeah.
What was he, though? It was like a green suit.
I don't remember.
Dragonfly.
Yeah.
He was the Dragonfly is what it was. Because he had like...
We watched that movie not long. I mean, it was a while ago, but like...
That was actually... Okay, I was about to say. That was actually the one spoof movie that I actually really, really liked. Like, that wasn't Scary Movie. That was the one that I actually was like, you know what? This is so ridiculous, but this is super funny. So I actually did enjoy that. But I do hope that they get the Wayans on board, and I just hope that they do it right. But the question I did also want to ask you, and something that I also, feel free to comment, and excited to see what you guys think about this as well. But what do you hope after all these years, with it being hopefully those guys in charge, what's just like, I don't know, maybe do you have a couple movies that come to your mind that you're like, oh, I think that would be really funny. Like if they like made fun of that. Like that has potential.
I haven't had time to think about it.
All right, well then let me tell you the first one that came to my mind. How much fun do you think they can have with the Conjuring universe?
Oh, I'm sure I'm sure.
You know another one?
I'm sure they'd probably that one's probably in there.
No, that one. I feel like that one's gonna be big.
The Insidious is probably
Insidious. You know another one that I was kind of thinking that they would maybe do Black Phone.
Maybe.
Like
I feel like they're gonna go with like the big like the universe ones, like to where like they're all like the super like known ones, to where like anybody who's okay, that's The Conjuring. Like if you didn't watch Black Phone, you're not gonna know what that face is. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna do something like, I've never seen The Conjuring, but I know who Annabelle is. Like, you know what I mean? Like
like, even if I don't watch that stuff, like I still know what you're making fun of.
Yeah, I know the gist of it. If you've never seen Black Phone, you don't know about Black Phone.
Do you think they make fun of Michael again? Or they just, we've already done that one? But there is new movies.
Maybe in a different way. Like, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, they could. I don't feel like it.
Do they touch on it?
Yeah, probably.
I could see that one. Like Pennywise goes to like talk out the sewer and he hits his head or something. He's like, fuck. Or like knocks himself out, like something. I don't know.
I also like don't want it to be like the only like, and also the reason why I still like those scary movie like spoofs now is because like now it's like I look and like, oh my god, that stuff is so fucking cheesy. Like, but it's so cheesy that it's funny. I now doing the spoofs, it's like I don't want it to be as that cringy cheesy. Like I need more funny. Like not so cringy, like so it's super like like I don't know, what is that, dramatized?
Yeah.
Like I want it to obviously be dramatic, but don't be so like, I don't know, like it's hard to explain. Like I don't want it to be like a like super like just like cringy, like it's not hold on, so cringy that it's not funny. I need it to be just cringy enough to where it's funny.
Would you rather them be more like movie 43 or less like movie 43?
Little bit less than movie 43. I like movie 43. I do, but not. I wouldn't want to watch that movie coming out brand new 2024 or 2025.
You think it's a little too much?
That's just too like early 2000s. Oh my god, fucking Golden's hysterical. Even now when I watch it, like, oh, there's so many funny scenes in it.
Yeah.
But also like some of it's like, okay, like that's not funny anymore. Like, I don't know. Fair but I'm also like picky with stuff like that. Like a lot of stuff I think is cringy.
Yeah, you are always quick to pull the cringe card. But now I'm excited to see though where they go with the scary movies. I'm really pumped. Obviously, if the Wayans get involved, I feel like they can hit a home run with it. And if anybody can revive and make a great spoof movie, I do believe it's them. But with that being said, right before we close out, just wanted to say a couple things in the sports world. First off being, congratulations to the Cleveland Cavaliers for clinching the 2024 NBA playoffs. Now I'm going to start actually getting tuned in. I'm going to keep up with it in the NBA playoffs. I'm going to actually follow the Cavs, try to ride with them, try to support them, see how far we can take this thing. And rooting for the Spider, rooting for him to stay healthy. Good job, Cavs. Stay locked in. Hopefully make a big playoff push. Another thing I wanted to mention involving basketball playoffs. Fantasy basketball playoffs. So after tonight, we can finally put a bow on the fantasy leagues for this past season of fantasy basketball. It's been a journey. It's been a ride. In my league, I placed 5th. But back-to-back years, I must give another round of applause to Mr. Tommy Gun Tommy. Big old congratulations. Winning not just last year, but this year too in my fantasy league. Getting him some money, securing him some bags. And I'm bumping some gems. But he did secure the bag. I wasn't able to get that one secured this year. I had some injuries. Shit went south. But you know what they say in fantasy, baby. We'll get him next year. So on that note, thank you for being tuned in to Pull Up a Chair episode 78. Do appreciate the love big time. Can't wait to see what you guys think on everything that we covered and talked about as well. And again, we will be talking about more of the beef and the drama and all that good stuff that happens in the simulation as the weeks keep unfolding and as more news keeps coming out and more records keep coming out. So we're excited to see how that goes. Get your popcorn because it looks like we're in for a long ride. Thank you to everybody who tuned in to Sleepless Radio episode 188 last night, getting to showcase the female MCs. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun, and Rhapsody got the win, so thank you for being tuned into that. We appreciate the love big time. Merch available now. New merch drops coming soon. When vampires go surfing, what do they say? April showers bring May vampires. So on that note, we're looking really forward to that. We got new singles out now. Link in bio, All Things Me. In fact, link in bio to All Things Me. I do have the link in here. And I will have timestamps below for every single subject as well that we covered today. Thank you to my beautiful wife for doing that as well, keeping track of that. And thank you to everybody for keeping the love high and the hate low and rocking with us and being a part of the Sleepless Familia, no matter where you are located, all walks of life, all over the world. We appreciate the love big time. Woke up with a smile on. Hope you did too. Look in the mirror and tell yourself 3 things you're grateful for, and hopefully you can wake up with a smile on too. Is there anything you'd like to say, Sweet Beanie Honey, before we close out? On that note, keep the love high, the hate low. This is your captain speaking. Peace. Boom.